There we go. That must mean we're live. Howdy, everyone. It's Battle Pirates Crow's Nest No Quarter episode. Shit, I should have looked. 64. That's right. And this one is called Ding 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 Sold Sold Sold. So we'll say howdy to everyone and think about what we're going to talk about, I guess. Byte's here, but he's got no microphone, so you can look at his picture as he talks. As he looks there. We've got Tyrion, Chuck, who just popped out. We've got Geordie.
Good evening.
There we go. We finally have a winner. We've got Watchman.
Hi, everyone.
We've got Ross Crow.
Good evening, everyone.
And me, because Damnation hasn't shown up, so I'm RB as always. So I guess probably I don't really haven't really worked out what we're going to talk about, but I guess Chuck's back. Welcome, Chuck. No, I don't know. Someone's got their YouTubes going in the background too. So, but yeah, we'll talk about the sale and then I don't know, pillage. Shipwreck retrospective. Try saying that 5 times quickly. So, anyone want to start on what you think about the news of the sale and all that sort of stuff?
I think it'll be what it'll be. I'm not going to get it.
Good. I think it's positive for the game. You know what I mean? Because it looks like they take on games that are long term. You know, from what I've heard, so that means that the game will be staying around. Work is going into it to keep it here, rather than everyone's. The prophets of doom. It won't be here by the end of the year. That obviously means it's expected to have some longevity. Yeah, I think it's a positive thing. But we'll see how it pans out.
I just read through the whole thing. I was like in shock and awe. Seriously, I'm seriously in shock and awe. At the dollar figure on a company when you go to check out its ratings and things, and I mean it's seriously horrible. And then you look at the sale figure and the dollar amount. And, like, holy crap, I was totally in the wrong business my whole life, I retired out in the wrong field for sure. I mean, what are we talking about? It's like over 100 mil, right?
Yeah.
I don't expect to see any changes in the short term, but in the long run, I think we'll see changes come along.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, and agree with what Watchman said too. I'm actually I agree with all of you because it just came out of complete left field. But I know Damnation and I were talking about it and wondering how long this has been going on in the background for, because this isn't the sort of company takeovers or sales or whatever don't just they take a little bit of work, I guess is probably what I'm trying to say.
Right.
I am actually really, really hopeful that we will see some benefit out of this, and that it all makes sense now of how while we see all these limited time offers and all the upgrades and all that sort of thing. So I'm 100% sure there's performance payments going on in the background and all that sort of thing, as there would be, if a sale like this, is a deal like this is worked out. So it's interesting, and I'm hopeful, quite hopeful.
I bet that the negotiations started around the same time that Kick started using Discord, so that any reams of complaints were less easy to find and look up. And I think it probably explains why there's been a lot more pressure to coin of late. and I would argue that there'll need to be a change in the future, because I don't think that is ultimately sustainable.
Yeah. And they've got, like, when you look at Stillfront and their other games and that sort of thing, it's like, you know, if you think that they're like a parent company and they've got all these games and that sort of thing, so it's you know, long running games that have got a pretty loyal audience. So I don't know, I'm pretty hopeful about it, and I'd like to, you know, think that we will probably see some improvements and maybe not quite so much pressure or feel so much pressure. I don't know, that I could be, you know, just living in bloody La La Land, but, you know, I'd like to think that that might be the case. So
It certainly, for me, it needs the activity level to drop. It's just too much on.
yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, we need some free time, so that and real free time, you know, shipyard included, not just play without events.
Yeah.
Well, we'll go into that a bit later because we're going to get even more events, but we'll see. But I mean, this is all part of that $30 million bonus. So, you know, they're going to run events, you know, until
Nonstop.
Yeah, non-stop until, you know, it's $30 million. It's $30 million. So it's you know, they're gonna milk it as much as they can. So I guess that's our choice, though, what we do with that. So but yeah, I was kind of curious because I went back to the old infamous Will Harvin letter, and I was thinking, you know, maybe they knew something then, or maybe the talks had started, you know, around that time. But, you know, obviously we'll never know. But I was interested to see the $90 million figure because we've been, well, I know I certainly have quite a few times tried to look and see, you know, how much Kixeye are actually raking in. So it's interesting to finally know that figure.
It's a huge amount. I mean,
I'd say it was more than they freaking deserve, but yeah, it's a huge amount, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, it does go a long way to explain why things don't get fixed that need fixing and why we suffer horrendous lag and all that sort of thing, because they go, hey, what do we care? We're not going to fix that. They'll still pay. So
Yeah.
anyway, that's me being guilty as well. So don't think I'm passing any judgments there that I'm not guilty of myself. So
Yeah, I'm in the same boat and feel the same way.
yeah.
Well, it does say here the deal gives Stillfront control of Kixeye's development teams, and Stillfront expects that the key leadership and employees will make the transition and continue working on their projects. So it means that we're not going to see much of a turnover in staff in the near future. You know what I mean? They're going to, the same employees will be working the same jobs
if they want to.
I take it you guys are talking about the buyout.
Yeah, Stillfront buying out Kixeye. Yeah.
Hi, Damnation.
Hey, what's up?
Better late than never on your own show.
Exactly. Yeah, it was
New aiding
it was
circumstance.
kind of interesting how fast that whole thing spread, wasn't it?
Yeah, it spread before Kixeye actually put out their own notice.
Yeah,
I thought it was
say
rather,
that.
I thought it was rather comical how everybody knew about the buyout, but nobody could probably tell you what was in BP next week. I found that kind of humorous.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought you were totally spot on the, you know, but I'm still running into people that have no idea about the buyout. I really am.
I'm sure.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and
You got people that don't even know that community sites exist.
I know there's people that still don't know about Discord. So
I did want to say, wherever that came from, that whoever picked that up and sort of spread it around, thanks a lot for that, because I don't think we probably would have seen a statement for maybe a week or something like that, or a statement with at all. So whoever was the one who discovered it all, it's like bloody good work for getting it out there.
I know the first person that brought it to my attention was Cuttlefish, and then I had the subtlety of a brick, so I brought it up on Discord, and then it just kind of went from there.
Yeah.
I saw the first notice on TFC and then posted it on my page, and then it appeared on our page, and then I saw it on Discord. But yeah, I think it was Cuddle that brought it up.
Yeah, I guess it could have come from anywhere. So, I do also want to say that I never want to hear the phrase, we need to keep the lights on and all these bullshit excuses ever again.
I never want.
no, that's no
Because
kidding.
they just can't pull that off anymore.
No, we know the kind of money they're making now.
Yeah. Anyway, I am kind of hopeful that it all.
They might have a damn big high electric bill. You never know.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do.
They got the electric bill for the sun.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't think it's a big electric bill for their freaking servers.
Well, yeah, they are in California, and they pay pretty damn high prices.
Not anymore.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
no.
now they're Stockholm?
No, Canada.
Yeah, Canada,
my
Canada.
understanding is they don't. Well, Stillfront's based in Sweden, but Kickside headquarters, yes, is in Victoria, Canada now.
And they got solar power. There's enough sun in California now.
Yeah, well, anyway. I think also, too, that there might even be some, crossover of expertise, from the other game teams and that sort of thing as well. So, and, we were all very skeptical of the HTML5, but, as that's part of the deal now, we'll may see some improvement in how the game performs from that as well.
Hopefully, because Flash obviously has always had its limitations on how much memory space it allocates to the individual player, yeah, and that's why it starts lagging after a certain time and it slows down. Hopefully, with HTML5, Hypertext Markup Language 5, we shouldn't have those problems, and the game should play a lot smoother.
Well, in all honesty, how can it get a whole lot worse? So I think we will.
No, hey, do not challenge them, Ross. Do not challenge them.
Challenge accepted, yeah.
Hold my beer.
It was interesting to see how fast the thing for Kingdom Maker got pulled off the Kickside forums through them once the whole buyout happened.
Oh, I didn't notice all that.
Yeah, because they bought. My understanding is they bought Battle Pirates. They got Battle Pirates. They got War Commander, Rogue Assault, and I guess they got Vega Conflict. But I guess Will Harbin and those guys kept Kingdom Maker.
Well, yeah, because it's not actually out yet. Even.
Yeah, it's going to some other company, I guess, that they're headed in. Something, I can't remember the exact name of it anymore.
Yeah, because they're actually saying that War Commander, Rogue Assault, that is on Android and iOS. You can actually play it on your phones. So, I don't play them, so I didn't know that. But so that was news to me. There is rumours as well. They want to try and get make BP available to be played on the phone. It's not something that I want to do, but if it can be done, yeah, good on. You know what I mean? I suppose it means that more players can play it. You know, which is a good thing. I'll continue to play it on
Oh hell yeah! Because I mean,
the desktop. You know,
because all the crying we've gotten from people, since the app has been dead, there's definitely a huge market out there for phone access to the game for sure.
yeah, because a lot of people can play it when they're at work and stuff like that, and when they're just out and about. Especially with the amount of chores that need to be done generally during the course of the game. So if people can get access to it in as many ways as possible, then it's good for the future of the game.
Well,
So I won't knock that, but that's not the way I want to play it. I'll still continue to play it on the desktop.
That's the problem with it. The basic currency in the whole game is time.
Mm-hmm.
If you free up people to play it while they're mobile on the phones, then one of two things happens. People are able to repair for free, etc., and that drives down revenue, or they increase the time constraints by offering more so that you can't be repairing for free because there's so much to do. So there's a risk.
Go ahead. Well, I mean, I used the phone app before, and I was a huge user of it, and I think that it caused greater damage because the way it was designed to auto targets, and you're just an auto user, and so it actually created more damage than in me playing on a computer. But that was okay for me. I mean, I coined repairs on the map with the phone app, and I wouldn't have had those repairs really with the computer. But I wouldn't have been able to fish at the same time. I loved the dang thing. I was so happy when that app came out, and I really wish it was.
Well, the only thing I used the phone app for, to be honest with you, is when I was out of work and I was just check my base if the base has been hit, and then start repair on it, because then you can come back, and time you finish work, you can come home and start playing the game again.
From what I was reading in one of the CM diaries, they're in the process of doing HTML5 conversion, and once they get that done, it should be a lot easier for them to get the mobile up and running.
Yeah,
because then it'll be an easy transfer.
Yep.
I'd be curious to know how long ago they knew this was going to happen. Is what I would be curious
That's
to
a good
know.
question.
My bet would be somewhere right around the time we first started seeing those 20 deals.
3 months. 3 months, I guess. The $20 deal.
Yeah, I mean, and that I have nothing to base that on whatsoever, other than okay, well, if Kix knows they're selling off the company, they want to try to garnish as much out of it as they can before the new company takes over. So they were going to start kicking out stuff super fucking cheap. You know what I mean?
Well,
and that's the only basis I have.
And it boosts their numbers, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like I said before you arrived, I was saying I think it probably came to fruition, started when they were on about the time they moved to Discord, because Discord is less user friendly in being able to see threads of 20+ pages if people are complaining on one particular event.
It's very difficult to find like announcements on Discord too, unless they make it to like, the actual announcements page. But some of that stuff they put in there that's very important is throwaway lines. You'll never see it unless you scroll back for hours and hours and hours and stuff. Who the hell has time to do that?
So they managed to bury a lot of customer dissatisfaction with that transition, which is a boon for helping to sell the company.
Do you think that would matter? Do you think that, and it's just a question, do you think that if you were going to take over a game or whatever, that you're really just looking that it's been out for 8 years and it's making X amount of money.
Well, you've got to look at the complaints and what you're going to handle as well.
I think everybody gets huge complaints. I mean, look how many people complain about Apple when they're still around.
No. Look at the Better Business Bureau. Look at companies really do not get these kind of complaints, and they don't. They just don't. I mean, look at the Better Business Bureau report on this company. They just don't. I mean,
to be fair though, and I agree with you, Ross. To be fair though, when you read some of those complaints, it's like, come on, like, it's some of them are pretty pathetic.
I agree. So I've read them, but I'm just saying the sheer number of them that are filed, actual number of filed complaints is just massive, and you don't get that. You don't get that in a company. I've owned a company, and I didn't get the Better Business Bureau slanting marks on my company, and so you just didn't.
I guess.
What about a gaming company though?
I guess the thing is, since they're not Better Business Bureau accredited, they don't fucking care.
Right? They don't care. And it's a different market, different kind of field, different market. It's totally something I'm not familiar with, and I don't pretend to know. In all honesty, I was in the wrong field.
Yeah, I know. When we heard about this sale from the start, I'm like, hey, I'm buying shares. I'm gonna get me some of them.
Right. I think Damnation needs to buy at least one share. Then when they try him banning from Discord, he can say you can't do that on shareholders.
Right.
We'll set up a funding for you.
I'll tell Chris, I'll be like, you have to better be careful who you're meeting, pal. I'm your boss.
Oh, that's too funny. All right. We done with this? Is everyone happy? I don't
let's move along to
anything
pillars.
else we can really say, because it's all a lot of it's speculation. So yeah, how's everyone's pillage going? It's the same event as it always is, which is kind of nice.
Well, the issues I'm having. Being a dickhead and putting the ships into the wrong targets while I'm not looking. That's cost me 13.5 hours of unnecessary repair so far.
Yeah, I know. I did it the other day. It's kind of brutal when you lose the fleet like that for your own silliness, but
well, I know I missed like a day and a half because of the move, and like my internet connection where I'm at now isn't quite as good as it was at my house, so I'm having to deal with a little bit more lag than what I'm used to. But I'm slowly plugging away, getting my points.
Yeah, I lost the internet for the first 24 hours. It was down. Unfortunately, they had a problem with it. And I rang them up and they finally got it fixed. And then all day yesterday, I had to take the wife to the hospital and everything. We was out there for like 10 hours. So yeah, I've lost a load of like half of the pillage time. I've not been able to get on, but I've been hitting the 80s and 65s with obviously. Sorry, I'm outside my base now. But you can also the 80s with the. Sorry, I'll get in with my fucking
prototypes.
Yeah, with that's it, the prototypes. They'll auto it for free. So theoretically, you're only driving one at a time. Because you're using your hydras to hit the. Well, I'm using hydras, to hit the 63s, and you get a 5k return for every set. I put in a good little shift overnight, and I'm currently on. Let's have a look. 853,000.
Yeah.
And that's just hitting those.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing how quickly it adds up. So. You know, and we do complain about grinding, but when it's grindable like this, you know, I certainly don't mind doing it.
Well, yeah, I mean, hitting the 63 is really fast. You know, it's really quick. You know, in time it would take me to search for the top tier targets, and you know the repair times on those. Even if I was used to Grease Monkeys, I actually think it's quicker and a lot cheaper to do it this way.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of ironic, but it is. You know that I'm sort of stepping down, using older fleets, and I'm getting better results than I would have done with my top tier, fully maxed out fleets.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. There are
653 million, and just hitting the top tier targets. The only problem I'm having is E-Reds in the 101. I'm taking way too much damage.
You do mean 653,000, right? Not million.
Yes. 1,000, sorry.
How much damage are you taking in the 101?
At least half fleet damage.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of bad driving. I was messing with the build on it, and I've got to fix it again.
I do those for less than an hour.
Me, I blitzed 5.4 million. No, just kidding. I'm just kidding. Somebody did, but I'm at 365. I'm just throwing the bat rays on auto and the 100. When it dies, I throw it in for repair. It's going along really well. You know,
kind of annoyed with myself because I took the deal and got all my E-Reds up to like level 3, you know, U3, and then I've not been using them. So it's like, damn.
Those a good fleet of bat rays will do that. Those 100s for instant base repair, mate.
Yeah, they do great. I mean, they do well, but they do well on auto even. They out of all my fleets, they are the one to use. My Eradicators totally suck compared to the bat ray, but I'm good with it, and I'm good with the score I have. So
yeah, my bat rays are autoing at 100 right now.
I'll probably get another couple of 100,000. There's a few other things I can grab. You know what I mean? I don't know if I need them or not, but I'll take them anyway. Because I know I can do that within an hour and a half, a couple of hours sort of thing. So.
Yeah, I know I tried my razors and they were fine as well. So they seem to have gotten over that, you know, all the damage going to one ship in those targets. So they're much more doable in my experience. So they've been good.
Yeah, I never tried the razors.
The evade turn speed crew is really good with that fleet.
Okay.
Yeah, my default fleet really has always been the bleeding bat rays, but I didn't try the razors. I've got razors, but I didn't use them.
Yeah, I just thought I'd try them and chuck them in there and see how they went, because I knew that I could repair them while I was doing the other targets and that sort of thing, and they were, you know, very comparable to the bat rays. I mean, for my bat ray build and the razor tail build that I have, they were, you know, pretty similar sort of damage. So yeah, I was fine with it. I have that same problem with the 101 targets with the E-Rads as well. I actually, and have done for quite a while, found that the 102s are better for me. I don't know why, they just are. So yeah, it's kind of strange.
Yeah, I'd say I did try them first of all. That's why, and I didn't like the damage I was getting. The 102 with the E-Rads I did actually better, and I think that's designed for the Shrikes, isn't it? I think, but
yeah.
And it was a 101 or whatever that I was taking more damage in for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know. And
I take more damage on my Shrikes now than I do on my Eradicators in 102. Ever since the splash there.
Yeah. So I looked at them. I looked at the damage I was taking. I thought, okay. Then I had a look at the 80 and the 63, and I looked at that. And I thought, do you know what? This is the way I'm going to go. I know it's going to be a bit more seat time, but well, maybe I don't even know if it was, to be honest with you, because I don't think I could have done it any faster. By the time you're searching out for the targets and everything like that, and how long it takes to actually hit and complete a target, compared to how long it takes to hit and complete the 80 and the 63. I think that you're on about the same time. Because you can hit a few of those in the time it would probably take somebody to hit or finish like a 101 or a 102 or something. And they're everywhere. That's the point. I haven't got to search from them. They're everywhere. The 80s and the 63s.
Yeah, I know. I certainly find it a lot easier and quicker doing it this way. So.
Well, you certainly got to make use of it, because this is the last time we'll be seeing them, isn't it?
Why is that?
It changes over, doesn't it? It has a cycle like the raids, if I remember correctly. So I think all the targets change next time because we're into a new cycle.
Yeah, next time it should drop
yeah.
it should drop the bat ray and razor tail targets, and it should be what we would be at Shrike and Eradicator targets and either Saturns or NEMX targets.
Yes, the raid next week is supposed to drop the next was it the tier 8 skirmish ship?
Yeah.
We've also got a Praetorian flag coming, haven't we? That's the one.
Yes.
Yep.
So I've only got a couple of them built at the moment, which I've been using for the FM. Obviously, they're lovely for that. So.
We did quickly kind of talk about it before the show started, but I know Ross has certainly seen the Gorgon in action. So has anyone else seen anything? Did you have any thoughts of how to build it and how it's all going to work and all that sort of stuff?
I've seen them in action a few times. The first one that I watched, the slowdown on it didn't appear to work at all. I don't know if they've changed it again. But I mean, the first one that I watched, the base was getting hit, and the first fleet ship in the fleet that it was supposed to target. I'm not going to say it didn't slow it down. I'm going to say that the ship went past it at the speed it would be towing a skier. You know what I mean? It did nothing in this instance. But since then, they seem to be working. They seem to be slowing people down.
It's not meant to slow them down. It's meant to stop one ship in its track.
Yeah, and it just didn't. It just didn't in this instance. One.
But it's got to be within 40 of the ship to do it.
Yeah, well, it just rode over the top of it. That's what I'm saying. It's like
Wow.
Yeah, so I wasn't that impressed in that, but since then I have seen them working. So yeah.
According to the Kicksite note, it's supposed to stop the first ship that enters the field.
Exactly, and it was the first ship
behind it. The second ship will get through.
Yeah, but it was the first ship. It was the first ship, and it just sort of, it went through. Yeah, and I thought, what?
About the redirection of the missiles and whatnot.
But I have seen them working now, and they do seem to be okay. And
yeah, I know I was pretty disappointed at the build time of it because they're a long build and a crap ton of titanium. Like it's just crazy amounts of titanium.
I'm glad you said that. I've got to top up again on titanium.
Well, it's going to take a while at 30k a shot.
Yep, I'm on 400k just over. So I've only got to hit 3 more targets. Top out.
It's in my base. It's skulled, and I blew a lot of tokens on it. So now I have to refarm FM to get all my tokens again.
And have you been hit with it?
I haven't been hit yet. I'm surprised. I figure everyone would have been bored with doing pillage already and start hitting bases. Nothing.
Okay.
Post your codes in chat. I'm sure somebody will
Maybe I should just go poke STS7.
Yeah, we're in a busy little
and
place.
see what it looks like.
We're in a busy little sector, so there's a few other reasonably large alliances here, so we're and around us. So it's been fun.
Cool beans.
Yeah. Sorry. No,
you're right.
I said, I remember back in the day where there used to be sort of for a lot of alliances an unwritten law we didn't hit during events and stuff. It seems to have all changed now, where people they do it during events and stuff. And you just can't accept it. I used to get really annoyed at it when people were doing that before, and I'd start just whacking back loads of them. Hitting loads of them, But now it's just okay, whatever.
Well, to be fair, if you're going to hit bases, raid's the perfect time to do it, because
half repair,
half repair. Why wouldn't you? And I know there are those sort of unwritten rules around, but for every rule there is, someone's prepared to break it. So it is what it is. So
I do it. I hit during any half repair. That's when I actually hit.
Hell sure. Yeah. And again, it comes down to repair time. So
yeah, even friends.
saying go with friends like you, who needs enemies?
That's okay. I play Monopoly with friends too.
Yeah. That's it. It's a pirate game. You know what I mean? If I hit you or you hit me, I don't take it personally. It's just it's a part we hit each other. That's part of the game.
I've always looked at it as with enemies like Ross, who needs friends. That's the way I look at it.
Who needs friends? Jeez.
See, Ross, you want to try Risk? You start out playing with friends, and your enemies buy it over.
I used to love that game.
No, but in general, I do hit friends. I've gotten too many friends in the game not to. And in all honesty, it's a good way to play. And that way, and just not be a general asshole to everyone. And because there's those players are out there too. But in general, I don't care who hits me, if they're a friend or not. There's ways you can play shitty and ways you still can, and still play normal. Without,
Yeah, if you farm too many people all at once, they get a little testy.
Yeah, and I know certainly in the early days of events and stuff like that, there was it was strategic to stop people from being able to compete, so they couldn't hurt you type thing. So, but we're so far past that these days that it's
right.
It is what it is. Yeah.
And we all know it's cheaper now to do.
That's right. Yeah.
To do while those events, and that's ultimately why we're not level 50s anymore. We all know. Well, not everybody. I still see comms. He's hitting during events. Well, no kidding. I chuckle, and I laugh.
Yeah, it's not a big deal to a coiner, but to a non-coiner, it's still
right.
Yeah, they lose the downtime. They lose the time on the dock. They've got they've got the repairs start stacking up because they've got a base guard to do. It hurts a non-coiner. That goes without saying. But then the opposite applies, as you've already pointed out. It's beneficial to a coiner because, you know, now coining is integral in having a base attack, really, because it's, apart from anything else, you're limited to 5 of the best fleet, you know, 5 ships for the best fleet. Whereas, you know, back in the day, you could have a fleet of MSCs with assault missiles on to go in and do some prep, and then a strike missile fleet to follow up. And you had 10 of the best ship, you know? But you can't do that now. You have to pop in, prep a bit if it's a good base, come out, repair on the map, and go in again.
Yeah. Yeah, I know you said.
Go ahead.
Damnation. No, it's all good.
I was just going to say, since we've kind of gotten the top PvP somewhat, what do you guys think about the changes to the interceptors?
Yeah, that's where I was going next. So, has everyone seen the retrospective and how they're going to change things?
My feelings on it are this: I'm thinking it's a good idea that they're going to ban it from Guardian bases. I'm not that keen on the prizes with the generic build token for the large rare alliance target, and the fact that it's going to run on an extended time as well, which means more battle and more coin. I like shipwrecks a lot, despite its inherent cost. I know the fleets are cheap individually to repair, but certainly I defended shipwrecks that I had to fight 5 battles and repair on it. So overall cost per target was about the same as a base fleet anyway. I'm a little bit alarmed at how much they've then gone, oh, that went well. Here, let's have an event of using them here, here, and here, on here, and here. You know, and I think I'm glad they kept down I'm glad they revised the amount of upgrade kits, but I think the upgrades came out too soon for adoption by more people. It has the potential to turn off more people rather than let people committed, build some ships, get ready for it, and then release upgrades a month down the line and, you know, keep more people competing in it for longer. That's my outlook.
Well, they hit us with the upgrade
the
kits
biggest thing.
They hit us with the upgrade kits in the game, but they're also doing offers for everyone to get the upgrade tokens. They're trying to make the money on the tokens.
Yeah, $39 or something at the moment. I haven't taken it, but I think it's too soon. You know, I think you know, not everyone's got stuff yet, but I just think it's too soon with all the other upgrades and things that we have to do. I think, you know, they disinfect everything's coming at us too fast. But as far as the shipwreck thing goes, I wasn't on last week because I was working. I did really well being in a large alliance. I think we got 1.8 million or something like that. As you know, I ended up with generally due to most of the alliance picking up a lot of the points for me. I mean, I did get a lot of my own, and I did have many a battle and many a guard job helping our alliance. You know, but it does favour the large alliances in this case. You know, it does. So it's.
Can you hear me better now?
Yep. Go
yes.
ahead.
Yeah. All right. I kept getting talked over, so I just thought maybe you guys couldn't hear me. Yeah, what I was referring more to was the whole thing about as far as how interceptors were going to react, like not being able to hit PvE, not being used as base guards, and not being able to hit base guards and that kind of stuff. That's more what I was referring to as far as the changes to interceptors. I know, me personally, I think it's a great thing.
Yeah, it needed to happen. There's no doubt about that.
Right. I mean, especially I wouldn't do bounty running around and having to go through a guard ship like that, or a guard fleet like that on every base for bounty, that I would have turned off bounty. So yeah, I'm glad it happened.
Yeah, and I mean, can you imagine, like, you're pretty much the chance of having any kind of effective offline base was done, you know, if they hadn't did that change.
Right.
Yeah.
It does make me wonder whether they, whether they'd actually taken this into account in the first place. And it's, one of those things where the players and the community will come up with strategies that they haven't even considered.
Yeah, I think it's, again, an afterthought. It's like, oh, shit. Yeah, we better change that.
They weren't supposed to do that. They were supposed to play with the shipwrecks. What are they doing?
Well, yeah, I know one of the first things after these things came out and I saw what they were doing to regular Conqueror fleet, I sent a message on Discord and I said, you do realize you have effectively killed offline PvP guards for bases, right? And like, I didn't get a reply, but then it was a couple days later, obviously, that they made the announcement. So,
So they should have kept you muted, is what you're saying.
well, if you guys wanted to have real shitty offline base guards, then yeah, they should have kept me muted.
Yeah. Well, it's like, it's like we said last week that it was, that it was going to affect bounties. So,
yeah, the overall response from the different community pages that I've looked at has been pretty well with the change. Only a few have been really complaining because, their prep fleets kept getting sniped.
well, I mean, it did make the snipers happy for a week.
Yeah, it's still happening.
Yeah, I know Cuttlefish said that he was seeing that there was still sniping going on. So, and some people live for that shit. So I guess they get to play their little snipey game for a while. So yeah.
Oh yeah, that was going on pretty heavy. Said that was going pretty heavy when it first started.
Go ahead, Watchman.
No, sorry. I was at the only line I was going to say is that the sniping out, of guard fleets outside bases was going on pretty heavy when the new ships first came out, the interceptors, because obviously it was virtually, you could wipe everything out for free, so of course you're going to do that, Yeah, everyone that could would take advantage of it. Because getting past a guard fleet on a base can be a pain in the ass sometimes. Yeah, the outside guard. So to be able to snipe it out of the way for free was lovely. But anyway, sorry, carry on. To apologise.
I just wish they could have got the interceptors and the regular, Conqueror hulls more in line so they could have interacted with each other.
Yeah.
That's what I would have liked to see. But, as they say, that ship has already sailed. So,
yeah, I don't think there's any coming back from that. Which is kind of disappointing because I know, just sort of reading what was going on last week, that it, quite rightly so upset, people that, you think that you've been using your Conqueror fleets for so long that, they're called Conquerors for a reason because they conquer things. And here come these little interceptors that, bang, 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 and you're gone with, 4 or 5 hours repair or something like that. And they just sail off chuckling into the sunset. So
Were you watching me use mine? Because I was chuckling as I drove away.
Well, there was a guy who hit me with spites, and I just felt so bad for him. It blew my mind when I saw it. I'm like, because it's been so long since I've even seen spites being used. It was like, bloody hell. So, but I did feel sorry for him. So.
The only Conqueror fleet I came across that held its own was Gluttony's.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I've just got my gluts highlighted at the moment, and I was saying I have taken the fleet out with using gluts, but I mean you have to drive really, really well, you know, and it's risky because they're freaking expensive to repair if you make a mistake, you know.
It's not. They weren't much good in an A3 target because you had the islands to dance around to protect you from the torps. But I would imagine in the A2 target they were pretty awesome.
I guess in the personal ones too, they'd probably work quite well. So, which is, to be honest, is kind of good because there are people who like driving subs and who are very good at driving subs, and you know, it's quite a skillful fleet to use, knowing that you've got that.
I've got two fleets.
The field on the Gluttony really slows down the interceptors as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got two fleets of gluts as it goes.
Yeah. Having it is risky if you lose them.
Very risky. You know, it's one of the most expensive repairs you've got outside of one of the you know, the big mega holes, sort of. You know,
the same guy hit me 3 times, and the first one he timed out on, and the second 2 he was really unlucky because the MPC fleet spawned once when he was surfaced and wiped him straight out, but the next time the MPC fleet spawned, it identified to me where he was, so I was able to go over and engage him, you know.
Yeah, there's also a 24-hour tournament starting on Tuesday, which I kind of feel is too soon. But, you know, I guess it is what it is. I know I certainly won't really be doing very much in it because, you know, 24 hours, there's, you know, 17 hours of you know, you're probably going to be doing other stuff, so that doesn't leave an awful lot of time. So it'll be interesting to see how that all pans out.
That's it. Monday, alley points. All right, 20 minutes later. But all jokes aside, then on Tuesday, we managed to squeeze in another event because we found there was a day free. You know what I mean? It's just like, are you serious? You know, what if you can't make that Tuesday? You know, what if you're actually busy? A one-day event, you know, it's just, I don't know.
Tough titties, basically.
yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, no one's actually.
Well, I mean, but at the same time, the event could have been a week long, and you would have had people. Well, I was on vacation that week, you know. So I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah,
suck it up, Buttercup.
If it's a week long, I mean, at least you should have some opportunity to get on it at some stage. But you know, when it's one day, it's.
And isn't the update supposed to be in the middle of that tournament?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it would be, yeah. Good point.
And then on the 17th, we're going to start seeing shipwrecks spawning randomly as well. Sorry, Geordie, what were you going to say?
I'm saying that possibly the bigger issue for me is the fact that, you know, we've got bounty approaching, and both the interceptors and the conquerors have got quite a long time in terms of the upgrades to do, you know, and really you need the information now, because you probably, you know, to have 2 interceptors ready, you're probably going to have to coin anyway to finish it off in time. But you haven't got the information to make the decision which ones to put in first, whether you carry on with, say, your basilisks or you go for your interceptors, you know. And there's a risk with it because we don't know how much bounty's on offer and what's going to pay out, because, you know, if you're fighting a target in a shipwreck, and let's say it's 1,000, 1,000, 3,000 in bounty, and you get popped at the last minute and lose the 3,000, Meanwhile, you're in that battle and somebody hits your base and you lose half of the 2,000 you've won as well. So you've spent 15 minutes and achieved the square root of nothing, you know, really. So it would be nice, permanent kickside problem, but it would be nice to have information up front to allow a build strategy within a strategy game.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know how this is all going to pan out, because it is a lot of pressure, and we just don't know how this next bounty is going to go. It's going to be quite an odd one. Sorry,
I
Chuck.
love it when you have 40,000, or not 4,000, 4,000 bounty points, and you're just about to cap, and someone hits your base, and they cap it for you.
Yeah, that's cool. Especially if they fail, then they don't get any of it. But if they succeed, then you both get the points. So
Yeah, saying that, you know, how many messages do you get? You go, "Hey, you hit my base and it was worth nothing." And you get 1,000 points for hitting any base over a level. Is it 100 or something like that? You know, instantly. You know, like it's automatic as long as you win, obviously. You know, and it's like, "Hey, you hit my base and it was only worth a few hundred points." You know, and it's no, you was worth over 1,000 plus. You know.
Well, it's like before. You know, how many people don't read and understand, you know, all sorts of things in this game. So it is what it is. You know, they can think that you've hit them for 100 points or whatever, but you know that.
the same applies, though. There's plenty of people out there that will hit a base for 1,050 points and take quite a lot of damage when they could have hit two YOs for next to no damage for the same amount of points.
Yeah, sometimes I hit a certain bases just because I want to hit them. It's not personal. Just don't like you. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm kind of conflicted about all of this, because, you know, while it's good that there won't be any YOs, you know, your opponent bases, then the lag that creates and how bad it is and how bad we've been saying it is, it's like, you know, your choice now is bases or shipwrecks, and I just don't know how it's all going to work and how it's going to tie together. They seem to be separate events to me, but, you know, if we have less lag, I'll be happy.
They haven't said that there will be no YOs in Bounty, though. They said there'll be no...
I was about to ask that same thing, where he got that information.
They said there'll be no shipwreck outposts in shipwreck events, because it's purely for interceptors and therefore fighting over shipwrecks. And that was designed, the shipwreck outposts were there for the downtime between spawning alone. So theoretically, going by that statement and dangerously reading between kickside lines, it would suggest there will be shipwrecks, bounty YOs, and player bases to hit for bounty.
I was pretty sure I read that somewhere. And if they can't manage to run bounty with your opponent bases, how are they going to manage bounty with your opponent bases and shipwrecks? Think of the lag then. So
yeah,
you know, unless they do the basic ones that they had this time.
But then you roll out, if they do that in bounty, they then rule out all those lower levels with conquerors from getting much bounty, and it would starve the rest of the community for bounty, because bounty's fed upwards, isn't it? People club baby seals, and then, you know, immature seals get clubbed, and then the bull seals have a battle.
Yeah, I mean, because the targets they're leaving on the map for the shipwreck targets are really mainly alliance ones, aren't they? Is that
No.
Hmm?
No, they've actually doubled the personal ones. They're
Oh,
bringing
okay.
in
Gotcha.
they're bringing in a lower level personal one for people that haven't got full fleets, etc. But you know what that means? That means all the big guys that don't want to coin, etc., will go and try and dominate down there. And the top alliance target is becoming more rare in a lot of the events and will only randomly spawn. So you can't guarantee that every 20 minutes it's going to be there. And they also haven't declared what its new time is, but they're extending the time on the top target.
Yeah, I did see that you actually got to sit in it for longer, which obviously means that you could end up in a lot more battles, which they want, because that becomes more. You have to spend more money defending it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's their goal. Obviously, you have to spend more money defending the points that you're trying to earn.
Yeah, I thought I read it that the lower level shipwrecks would be the things that you could hit with your Conqueror fleet, and then I guess maybe I assumed that would be the replacement, but I don't know.
I think well, they said for lower level people. I don't think they insinuated or would have the cheek to insinuate that Conquerors stood a chance now. I think they're more aiming at people with 1, 2, or 3 unupgraded Corsairs or strike frigates to be messing around in that area. That's where they want people going. That anybody, realistically, you're not going to advise anybody to go into any target with a Conqueror, because, like I say, big people will be going round. There's people with. I bumped into people with 2 full fleets in the last shipwreck. There'll be people trying to do two or three. Well, I saw people in the last shipwreck holding 2 or 3 targets at a time. So, there's little guys are still going to get bumped off with Conquerors.
I must admit, I was stealing them from some of the smaller alliances and stuff, because they couldn't fight back. They didn't have enough muscle to fight back, and
it's kind of uninclusive though, then, because from Kickstar's point of view, because I'm sure there's people out there who didn't even win them, so they've got to do something for them to be able to do, I guess.
Well, that's why they've been persuaded by Hefe to get to put interceptors in this event, which we've said earlier how relatively easy it is to get points. There's not really any reason other than you don't want to do pillage and you can't be asked not to have a hull that's an interceptor after this event, is there?
Yeah.
2.5 day.
Yeah, I guess
2.5 day build. You could still redeem one tonight if your shipyard was free and have it built free for the 17th.
Yeah, I guess it's going to be.
So how's everyone doing for their tokens now? I mean, I'm hoping to carry 2 weeks through into next week's raid.
I know I've done that. So
yeah, it's just to make sure other people haven't spent everything yet.
Well, that's what we were talking about last week. The decisions that maybe it was on the Hangout. I don't know. It was. About the decisions that you make, because I know people used their FM tokens to get the interceptors for last week. So, and how that rolls on to then the new fleets and all that sort of thing. So it's all the decisions you make, I guess, as to where you are and what you're up to. So,
and the new hull that's released should be coming with an approximately 30% reduction in build time, allegedly.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that because I was kind of a bit confused why my lab scientist doesn't cut down on any of these, upgrades on the builds for your advanced lab and tactical lab and all that sort of thing. I was expecting to see some sort of reduction in that, but there's jack shit.
Really, I haven't noticed.
Yeah, I haven't noticed. That's disappointing.
Yeah. No, I think there is, because I'm pretty sure my alt has a longer build time than my main account, and my alt's on it.
Oh, I got my late. Sorry,
my alt's not on Facebook, so my Facebook obviously has full amount of officers throughout.
I got my naval lab maxed out because that's the one that speeds up the armor refits, and armor a lot of times seems to be the longest bloody refit you do on anything.
Yeah, it's a very valid point, but the reality of it is, it's the wrong way to go with how we play. Because how do we build ships? We build them with weapons and specials first, and then rank them. Yeah.
Yep.
And then put the armor on.
Yeah.
So if you're working from having the armor end done, you're not having. If you'd have been working on having the specials and weapons done, by the time the new hull comes out, you'd have had a reduction on the hull build time to get it going.
I think it's horses for courses, you know what I mean? It's like, whichever way you look at it, it's, I'm doing the last upgrade on the retrofit lab, but it's whichever way you look at it, you're gonna take it. But I know I could get that done before. I've got a lot of things that need armor still putting on, i.e. the Praetorians and a few other things like that, that I've built and weaponized, and they've got specials on already, but I haven't put the armor on. So I thought, all right, to me that'd be the most beneficial because I've already built those hulls, and then I can go back and upgrade the particular building that gives me gives me a benefit on the actual build times of the hull or the specials,
I have a couple of questions.
Yeah.
What are these interceptors that you're speaking of? Are you talking about the old interceptors, like the Mark 1s and all those? Or, because I have been away for a while, and, the whole point of them selling the company without so much fanfare and that kind of stuff is them driving all the people that were important to this game away that provided solid information. Like Huggy is a good example.
Okay, it's the frigate, the strike frigate, and the Corsair are deemed as interceptors.
It's a new
class of ship that was released last week.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. Thank you.
If you've logged on within the last 90 days, minus when the shipwreck started, so 7 days ago, you should have a free blueprint in your lab. So check on the limited tab of your blueprint and see if you should have a Corsair in there.
Okay, yeah, I'll check that. Thank you.
And you'll have a choice of one weapon and one special. That's all they've got. You don't need to rank them. They're already at their max level. And well done for getting your microphone working.
I'll tell you what I didn't.
It was Windows. For some reason, they like to flip switches when you're not looking.
I'll tell you what I didn't enjoy in the shipwrecks, that if you enter a shipwreck with 10 minutes left on a crew and you manage to hold it for over 10 minutes, the crew's expired within the target.
That was a bit of a slap in the... Well, no, not really. I mean,
So what you're saying is after like 3 fucking years, they finally fix road crews.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. I guess we did benefit from that for a bloody long time, but it is still rude.
But yeah, when you play on the map, if you go in with 30 seconds or 10 seconds to go, if you get in that combat, your rogue crew is relevant for the duration of that combat. So how it must work is that the shipwrecks class each 5 minutes as a combat period, and it can expire after one of those if it's timed out. But
Yeah,
I would have thought,
point. Yeah.
I would have thought that once you go in, it's committed for that 15 minutes, you know?
Yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, it would have been nice if they had just released some kind of thing of, hey, we fixed road crews now, so when they expire, they actually expire. That's all it would have taken, you know?
Yeah. But I think you're right, Geordie. Perhaps every time the NPCs come in, that's classed as a new battle, or you know, when if someone jumps you, that's a new battle. So,
I mean, I was having, you know, crews that last 40 minutes, you're only getting one use out of, really.
yeah. Cool. All right. Well, we've been jabbering away for a bit. So, is there anything else anyone wants to talk about? This is your opportunity. Otherwise, we can start getting back to pillage, I guess.
I'm all good.
Yeah, I think we covered most things, didn't we?
Yeah, I think we covered everything. We got the Kixeye buying out. We got the new raid coming up with the new skirmish ship being dropped in, the Priot flag, and Shipwrecks tournament. I think we're all set.
Cool beans. All right. I guess we'll end it there then. So hopefully we got some value out of this, and it's always good talking about what's been going on during the week and all that sort of thing, because as we know, there's never a quiet week in Battle Pirates. This doesn't ever happen. So if you sorry, was that someone trying to say something?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. All right. If you like the video, and I guess we'll see you all next week. If you are on the Crow's Nest page, some of you need to pull your heads in. Just my opinion. So if you're going to yell at each other and call each other names, do it somewhere else.
Yeah, because if you act like too much of a dick to somebody else on the page, I'll just fucking beat your ass.
But having said that, you know, certainly send your friends there, all the rest of the normal things that Damnation likes to say. So otherwise, we'll say see you all later, and have a good week, and have a good rest of your pillage.
Take care.
Good night, and good luck all.
There you are.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, all.